Okay, I'm live on both Instagram and also YouTube. I've not done much on YouTube, so this is a very new thing. I've figured out how to go live and how to talk about what has been inspiring today. And now I'm trying to decide which camera do I look at. Let's move our Instagram over there. I'll look at you guys and hopefully it makes sense on both platforms, but oh my gosh, welcome to summer 2024 when I'm recording this video. And I dropped my 3 older kids off at a summer camp that they go to in our little city. And it was really my younger one, who's 5 years old. He's been looking forward to this specific summer camp for 2 years because we've dropped big brother off and then big sister off. And they go to the pool every day. And it's like a really great just like little local summer camp. Anyway, so I dropped them off today. They've been looking forward to it for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I get them signed in. They find their little number on the wall where they need to put their backpack, and we get all settled up. And it was time for them to go. And all the campers were in this park area, and they're just out there playing. And each kid who's a specific age wears a specific color shirt. So all the 5-year-olds are wearing blue, all the 6-year-olds are wearing whatever, the 7-year-olds are wearing yellow, etc. And so I said, hey guys, this is it. Like, go out there and have fun. Like, this is it. Like, have fun. And just a quick reminder, maybe there's a kid here who feels nervous, and maybe you could be the person that goes up and says hello. And of course, as I'm saying that, as their mom, as I'm saying that, I see them think I'm nervous. Like, I'm the kid who's nervous. I don't know anybody here. I have to go assert myself into the circle. I have to go find my connections. Like, I have to go assert myself and make friends. And it really got me thinking about the evolution of first impressions, because this course that we just wrapped up literally today, module 10 was posted, which is the very last module of this course called Market Your Personal Brand Intensive. Module 9 was about having a really accurate first impression. And I was thinking about the evolution of first impressions and how when we are kids and we get dropped in the schoolyard or dropped in the park or dropped wherever we are, the people that we see right there in front of us are the circle that we are going to have a first impression with. And a lot of times, because there's not the choice there's not the choice of being able to curate your circle. Like, you just happen to be on the team you're in, or you happen to be at the school class you're in. There's not a lot of opportunity to actually curate the circle you're in. The idea for a first impression, at least for me, was I need external validation that I fit in here. And so instead of asking myself, who do I want to be in this circle? And if they like me, great. If they don't, great. I always did this thing in my head of like, I want to fit in. I need external validation. But what I've found, what happens when you connect with your magic, when you know your personal brand, which is the unduplicatable parts of you that make you you, when you're connected with your personal brand, and I have it in a model that's inside of the course, it's taught as a magic Venn diagram, personal magic Venn diagram, where the elements of you fit into these circles. What happens is now all of a sudden, you know your magic. You don't need that external validation from another person. So the idea of a first impression, instead of nailing the interview, whoever the interviewer is might like you or might not. The idea is that, whatever your first impression is it authentic? Is it actually accurate? Not is it great? Is it convincing? Is it persuasive? Is it likable? But is it accurate to who I am? If the first impression that we are giving, and we're doing a service to the world, I believe a service to the world, when we have an accurate first impression, we say, I know my personal brand, I know my magic, and now I go out into the world and I help do the work to communicate myself through the ways that I can, whether that's my communication style, my body language, my apparel, whatever it is. I do the work on the back end to help you have accurate data on me. All of a sudden now we can come from internal validation on the conversation of first impressions. If I'm not for you, great. But if I am, great. And now you're welcome into my circle of influence. And so it just got me thinking about the evolution of first impressions, going from external validation and needing to And a lot of times, in my opinion, when people are teaching personal branding, they come from that perspective. Like, what is your color? What is your font? What do you want? What do you know? How can you help people like you? People, that's in, that's out. And the way that I teach personal branding is completely opposite of that. It is not what's in, what's out. How can you convince or persuade? But it's attraction marketing, which means this is authentic. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's fine. I always like to think of attraction versus persuasion as, there's two ways to sell a car. When I went to buy my Jeep, the very first dealership that I went into, I joke that when I shook the hand of the salesman who was, trying to sell me a Jeep, literally, I felt like in the reflection of his eyeballs, I could see dollar signs. And I joke about that because it felt so uncomfortable. It was like no matter what I was feeling, I felt like he wanted me to buy a Jeep that day, walk out of the lot with a Jeep. And it didn't matter if it was a good Jeep, if it was the price for me, if it fit in my budget or in what I was looking for. It felt like he just wanted this deal to happen. There was like a convincing nature about it. And it felt yucky to me and I didn't like it. So I left that dealership and I went over to another dealership where I met someone who really, it felt like he was interested in what I wanted. He wanted to know what I was looking for in a Jeep. He wanted to know what my budget was, or what was most important to me. Did I want automatic doors and windows or did I not? And when I got into that, there were two ways to buy a Jeep idea. There's two ways to put a ring on a finger idea. There's a convincing side, like I'm going to do whatever I need to do in order to get you to say yes. Or there is a connecting side. And to me, the connecting versus convincing is exactly what attraction versus persuasion is. Attraction marketing is connection oriented and persuasion marketing is convincing oriented. So when it comes to our personal brand, if we want to have a connection energy, if we want to have an attraction energy, it has to be connection focused. And in order for it to be connection focused, it has to be authentic focused, which is congruence between your personal brand and what you're putting out, not the other way around. Not the way that says, hey, what do you guys want to see? I'm going to become that. For the longest time, when it comes to my personal brand, specifically how I was sharing it online, I felt very locked up by what people thought of me. Like and it's hard not to do because we are wired to connect. So we want to connect with people. And when we get feedback, whether with data metrics like lack of hearts or comments or whatever we interpret that connection as, if we don't get that, it can feel like we are bad or we're doing something wrong. But the freedom that I have found comes when we realize that we are opening our circle of influence, being authentic with the magic that we are shining, and allowing people to enter or leave our circle of influence as they like. But what's more important to me than the number of people in my circle of influence, what's more important to me is that what I'm actually sharing is true. What that means is whatever's authentic to me, what actually I value, what actually how I actually want to express, how I actually want to feel, how I actually think, like the congruence is more important than the number of people in my circle of influence. I hope that makes sense and I hope it's encouraging. So to kind of cap this off and finish, the evolution of first impressions, if it started as I need validation from an external voice or an external place, excuse me, I needed validation from an external place. When you know your magic on the timeline, if over here is validation from external, and then on the timeline, you know your magic, you learn yourself, you understand your personal brand, then all of a sudden on the other side is internal validation. So when I drop my kids off this morning and I see them going out into that schoolyard or into the little park area where all the kids are playing, my wish for them is my wish for myself. It's my wish for you, is that you know your light and you know yourself and you know your magic. You understand your personal brand and you can share that with authenticity and welcome people into it if they want to be in. And if it's not for them, there's no worries about that. It's not a shameful judgment. They're a hater. They're whatever. No, it's like we're drawn to different people. We resonate with different people. I hope the people that they attract is authentic to them, because what they're putting out is authentic, and that is attraction marketing. So thank you guys for being here on YouTube. I had one viewer for a minute and then it went away. On Instagram, I had a few more, so it was good to chat. And Tammy, thank you so much for your comment. Learned so much about myself in your brand training. Oh, that's so good to hear. And then Jean for Health, love this. Thank you for the comment. Appreciate the interaction. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happens through the next several weeks of talking more about this content, things that we've talked about in the course here on social media, open for everyone. My vision is that everyone in our world, or the large majority of people, wake up inspired every morning because they know who they are and they have tools and practices to get them back into who they truly are. And then they go to sleep or come home fulfilled by the work they did that day. That's my vision for myself. That's my vision for you. And I look forward to creating that world together. All right. Have a great day. Happy Monday, everybody.